Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update. The afternoon update with Lin Li Fu.
Money FM 89.3. Now, everywhere we look, labels guide our decisions. The nutrition facts on the food we buy, the energy ratings on our appliances, even the warnings on our medication. They help us make sense of complexity quickly and clearly. Now, the same idea is being applied to one of the most powerful and least understood technologies of our time, artificial intelligence. Tech giants like Google and OpenAI have experimented with ways to disclose how AI works, whether through model cards or metadata tags. But here's the question: when a company like Motorola Solutions, whose security technology supports police, emergency services, and schools worldwide, introduces AI nutrition labels, could this mark a turning point for how we build transparency and trust in the very systems that keep communities safe? Joining me today is Rajat Gupta, Vice President and Managing Director for Asia, Middle East and Africa at Motorola Solutions. Rajat, welcome to Industry Insight.
Thanks, Lin. Appreciate it. And it's an honor to be here with you this morning.
Rajat, great to have you with us. Now, let's start with the basics. What exactly is an AI nutrition label, and how does it apply to your industry?
So, Lin, if you think about it, just taking a step back, AI really is changing our lives every day, but remains quite a divisive topic. Some see it as a powerful tool to increase productivity and safety. Others see it as an invasive tool and worry about the harm that its misuse may cause. So at Motorola Solutions, we believe in responsibility and ethically developing AI, which can actually be a force for good. So what we've done recently is we've launched these new AI labels, as you mentioned, to provide transparent information about how, why, and where AI is being used in our products.
Okay, that's interesting. But in terms of the AI nutrition label, tell us, how does it work? What does it explain?
So when people understand how AI can be used to keep them and our communities safe while protecting our privacy and data, then they become more willing to trust it. So what our AI labels do is we provide clear, concise information about how AI is being used across our ecosystem of safety and security technologies. They explain the purpose behind the application of AI in our products, as well as the type of AI being used, who owns the data, and the human controls in place that help to make it assistive intelligence. That's not really replacing human judgment in that sense. And of course, our AI labels help people to understand a product's core AI ingredients. Think about it just like a food nutrition label, right? Like a cereal box, which helps us to understand what our dietary intake is.
Interesting. Now, this push for labeling feels like part of a wider wave, right? We've seen the EU AI Act in Europe, Singapore's AI Verify framework here in Asia, and of course, growing public skepticism about black box AI. So what's driving Motorola Solutions to move in this direction now?
So there's a number of factors that actually contributed towards us releasing these AI nutrition labels. There's definitely things like regulatory, there's things like consumer demand for ethical AI, and of course, competitive differentiation as well. So let's just take these one at a time. So if we look at regulatory, so AI innovation is evolving faster than regulatory frameworks. We all know this. So it's important that AI provides transparent information, helping people to understand its purpose and how it's being used. So think about us in Singapore here. The government is taking a very similar approach in terms of developing AI responsibly while emphasizing data protection. The government's Global AI Assurance Sandbox is an example. It enables organizations to pilot AI applications in a controlled environment, identifying potential risks before moving to full-scale deployments. If you look at consumer demand, on one hand, consumers expect public safety agencies to use technology to deliver better and faster services. On the other hand, people want to know that AI technologies won't expose them to privacy and data breaches. An important part of developing AI solutions is regularly consulting with communities, customers, and policymakers to seek and incorporate their input. We specifically consulted customers on our AI labels and received very positive feedback. So that was another driving force. And last but not least, ethics and governance. So if you think about AI solutions need to continuously be evaluated against changing expectations. Our AI solutions, we tend to make them human-centered, empowering human operators to make better informed decisions, not replacing them. They're purpose-built, enabling our customers to comply with relevant laws and regulations, and they're tested and validated on an ongoing basis as part of our product development lifecycle. So these are really some of the thought processes behind why now was a great time to actually bring this in.
Listening to you, I think it sounds like it's both a compliance issue and a market strategy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, but boiling AI down into a label cannot be easy. How do you make it understandable without oversimplifying?
Firstly, what I'd like to encourage you and our listeners to also do is visit our website, www.motorolasolutions.com/AI labels. It actually gives an extremely detailed explanation as to how to read an AI label, including how we define key terms and phrases. There you'll find details including the type of AI being used in our products, who owns the data processed, the human controls, and the purpose behind the product's specific application of AI. For example, we publish AI labels for our radio products, including one of our new radios, which is the APX N50 radio. The label clearly explains that AI was used to build noise suppression capabilities of that radio. So think about an extremely noisy environment like an airport or where an ambulance is or a police response vehicle. And that's where these noise suppression capabilities have been brought in. And that AI enables users to interact with the radio via voice control as well. So these are some of the things that we've been implementing.
Okay, so you focus on the essentials, what the AI is designed to do, and I suppose the data it draws from?
Exactly.
Okay. So what sort of limitations are we looking at?
I think the key thing, right, that we have to think about is adoption of AI, and adoption in the sense that it has to be done in a transparent manner. So as I started off by saying, the biggest concern to adoption of AI is going to be people knowing how transparently the information is being used. And that's really the biggest roadblock, if I can call it that we have to think about. And hence these nutrition labels, Lindley, because having these nutrition labels really is all about transparency.
Yep.
It's about letting people know how their personal data is going to be used, if it's going to be used, how it's going to be used, and the applications of that eventually, which will, in the long run, benefit them, is what we're trying to achieve.
Okay, so you don't actually need to understand the algorithm in detail.
Oh, absolutely not. That would be taking it a step too far.
Okay. Now, can you give us a real-world example of where a label like this makes a difference?
Absolutely. So, for example, I'll talk a little bit about public safety, which is where we as Motorola Solutions are extremely strong in. This is a sector we've been serving for almost 100 years, since we've been founded in 1928. We recently launched a product called the SVX, which is a new smart radio which is converged with a body camera that brings in the power of AI to frontline officers, police officers, SCDF officers, through an AI platform which we call Assist. So Assist really helps officers to do their jobs better by surfacing insights that improve their response times, incident awareness, and their ability to collect evidence. So our solutions are being used in public safety control rooms, performing tasks like live translation, transcription of emergency calls, including things like translating from different languages. So making it easier for people to listen and understand what really might be the immediate issue at hand. So one of the stats that we have is from the Federal Communications Commission in the United States, which found that 10,000 lives could be saved each year by shaving just 1 minute of 911 response times. Then if I extend that to think about the enterprise sector, so think about major events and concerts. I mean, we in Singapore, we're becoming a massive hub for concerts these days. So our AI-powered video cameras can search for persons or vehicles of interest or detect people loitering around a facility, helping security teams to identify and handle potential threats. Again, a real example is one of our customers in the United States again, the Port Discovery Children's Museum, reduced the time taken to find a lost child at the facility from 5 minutes to 90 seconds. So these are just some examples, Lily, where in the public sector and in the enterprise sector, we actually do see the AI being used to benefit in terms of saving lives, in terms of lost children being found earlier, basically making our lives better and safer is the way to put it.
Wow, yeah, in those examples you mentioned, high-stakes scenarios, knowing what the AI can and cannot do is critical.
Absolutely.
Now, do you see AI labels becoming as universal as food, nutrition, or energy efficiency ratings?
So we at Motorola Solutions, we strongly believe in the need for transparency. We strongly believe in the need for governance. So we would definitely be an advocate for it becoming a cross-industry standard. And from our part, we're actually part of many forums, I guess, at this point in time is the best way to put it, where this is being discussed. But yes, to answer your question, I do see this becoming a cross-industry standard, and we're already working with different teams across that.
So what do you think would be the factors that will drive mainstream adoption?
So it's important to understand that AI technology is still evolving. It continues to grow in more capable and powerful ways. So at Motorola Solutions, promoting AI transparency enables us to support our customers in upholding public safety and compliance, while helping the wider community to see that our AI tools are being used in safe, ethical, and responsible ways. So these are some mainstream adoption things that we have to look out for, similar to, like you said, food and energy labels as well.
Rajat, let's talk about the business upside. Transparency takes work, but what's in it for companies to do this?
Here I'd like to mention a famous quote by Sir Robert Peel, who is regarded as the father of modern British policing and the founder of the London Metropolitan Police in 1829. And he said, "The police are the public and the public are the police." And that quote is often cited as a cornerstone of modern policing, emphasizing the interconnectedness and the shared responsibility between law enforcement and the community. So if you think about AI in this way, using it transparently, ethically, certainly helps to build trust between public safety agencies and our communities. If you think about it specifically in our concept in Singapore, when you have neighbors on watch, when you have cars on watch, I mean, I'm not sure if you, Lindley, you're a driver yourself, but
Yes.
I am. And we have all these notices in our car parks, right, where we talk about cars on watch, right, where every car is being used in a way to record information. So these are things that if we enhance it with AI, that really helps improve our lives. And that's a very good thing, in my view.
Why do you think that?
In terms of actually expanding the information that we would have, so think about it this way as well. If you look at the traditional or the ongoing models of gathering information from, let's say, video cameras, as an example. Today, the modus operandi is really having humans sitting behind cameras or behind camera feeds rather, and looking at what's supposed to be there or what's not supposed to be there, basically looking for anomalies.
Right.
And there's also a study which says that the human attention span goes down after 20 minutes, just after 20 minutes. So if you think about what AI can bring to the table in terms of taking away from having humans to actually invest their time, which can be used for other purposes in more comprehensive manners, that's where I feel that, having the community as part of it to collate more information, having AI to actually use the information in a better way is where we think is the future.
Okay, but I foresee many challenges with that, data security and people not wanting to share certain data, right? Anyway, Motorola Solutions AI nutrition label launch was announced here in Singapore. So my question is, why Singapore, and what role does Asia play in this conversation on responsible AI?
Singapore is, for lack of a better term, our regional headquarters. So most of our leadership team from a Motorola Solutions regional headquarters perspective is based here. Of course, our global headquarters being in Chicago. And the adoption of AI has been tremendous in this part of the world. So if you look at what we heard even Prime Minister Wong speak about on Sunday at the National Day Rally, about AI and us as citizens, what we need to do in terms of adopting AI, it just becomes a natural place to really introduce AI labels and talk about how we're using these effectively to enhance our lives. So hence Singapore, and I think in terms of adoption as well, to your point about data security, I think it's always a choice that people have in terms of sharing information. Going back to the example I mentioned about cars, it's a choice about whether people want to share the information or not, because that's something that, they want to do or not is up to them. But I think we in Singapore, we understand the benefits of it. We understand the applications of AI probably faster or, ahead of most of the other world in that sense. So I guess that's one of the reasons why we thought Singapore is a great place to really start with this. And then being a headquarters to really expand from here.
Indeed, given how fast adoption is happening here, I think Asia may well set the pace for the rest of the world.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah.
So AI nutrition labels, more than just a tech innovation, they could be the next big step in making AI accountable, understandable, and trustworthy. And we may look back on this moment as the start of labeling, moving from food and energy to algorithms. Rajat, thank you so much for joining us and sharing Motorola Solutions' perspective.
Thank you, Lily.
And he is Rajat Gupta, Vice President and Managing Director for Asia, Middle East and Africa at Motorola Solutions. I'm Lin Lee. You're listening to Industry Insight.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.